we just didn't have, because of lack of knowledge, I guess, and we all got too excited. We spent too much time getting all the small things right in the beginning. I think that makes sense from one perspective, but oh, you know what, that guy's wing is not right. That little 1 pixel over there under the microscope looks grey, not black, let's change him. That guy's expression, his tongue is not seen properly, and so on and so on. We spent a lot of time on these things. What this led to was, I think, somewhere lack of focus, because we just kind of took development for granted, which is really not a cool thing to do. And the second thing that, because of so much keenness that we showed in the art, was it led to, I think, way too many art assets. And like, it was a problem. I'll explain what problem it was. So I think each bird, and yeah, I think all 6 birds have an average of around 450 to 500 individual frames of animation. So that's massive. And Shiraj had like beautifully made them, and for us it was that point, like, you know, we know this is a problem, but we can't let go of that frame because it gives us that emotional attachment. And I think we spent too much time on that in hindsight. So the game does look really, really beautiful, but maybe because of that, we had to compromise on a lot of things. If we had been more clever about the design, I think with time, I guess now we've understood these things. For example, the birds that you saw, they were all like not really symmetrical, not just in look but also in color. There were gradients everywhere. So we couldn't use the same assets, like so say a bird is flying from left to right. We needed something different flying right to left because the gradient would change. Honestly, I don't think it would have made such a big difference if we had used the same frame or sprite, but we're like, no, we can't have 2 different things because it won't look nice if suddenly the gradient changes for one frame to the other. Yeah, I agree, it won't look nice, but we could have worked with it if we had gone with solid colors rather than gradients. So this was like a major issue that we had with the whole thing. What all this led to was we couldn't really accommodate so much art in the game for it to run. So one fine day Sandesh calls us and says that, you know what, the game's not running. Why? There's no memory. Okay, so what do we do? I said, remove 3 birds. Sorry man, that can't be done. So eventually what he does is he downscales everything by half, and the art is no longer retina, which was like, that's not cool at all, you know. Everything is retina art and we need it to be retina. So the biggest, the shake-up in terms of where this game could go was that it was iPhone only, because we could not put on the iPad. As simple as that. I mean, it was like a big bummer.
I didn't understand what you said about 400 to 500 frames.
Yeah. I can't hear you. Can you be loud?
You said something about 400 to 500 frames of animation. I didn't understand what is the context for the 400 to 500.
So we had, each bird did so many different actions. Like, when it's sitting still in one place, is breathing. There were 80 frames for that one cycle of breathing. So 80 individual, frames of animation, sprites that were there, which was, I think, when you think about it, like way too much. Then you had, sometimes suddenly the bird would like wave hi to you, like, hey, what's up, that kind of animation. So that took a lot of 70, 80 frames just for that one cycle. And we couldn't drop, and they were all individual frames. Then the bird had to fly in multiple directions. So obviously we had broken them down into segments and things like that, which we thought was really, really awesome optimization. But it could have been taken to like much further lengths of optimization. We just couldn't do all that because, frankly, I don't think we had the knowledge or the foresight to even think about these issues.
Got it.
Yeah. The other big problem was lack of documentation. I know all of us hate documenting stuff. I totally hate it. And more than me, I think Amit hates it even more. But we learned the hard way that we need to document everything, because if you're going to work on like a few months on the same project, and every few months or weeks you have different problems, if you don't write them down, you don't remember them. And that was our biggest problem. We didn't remember half the things. So we learned that we really need to document stuff. If we forgot about some features, we'll suddenly one fine day remember that this is what we need to do. So that was a big problem. We didn't have a prototype. That was a problem. The first build that we had of the game was the prototype, and that was like a disaster. So it was really disheartening. We didn't plan properly. Like I said, though we had a basic rudimentary plan in mind, but it was quite useless. Things were not flowing smoothly. I guess because of lack of experience, we found that maybe art was going too fast, and then development became really slow, programming, and then that became fast, and this became slow, and it kind of became all messy. And the first few builds we played were horrible. I mean, pathetic. I destroyed them. They were that bad. The other big problem was that we were disconnected from the industry. Like, I didn't know anybody from the industry, and frankly, if we knew somebody and we went and spoke to, and it's our fault because we didn't go reach out. A lot of these problems, I think we would have just instantly solved, because they would have told us, hey, don't do this way because it's wrong or it doesn't work. And it would have just helped us move faster. And that is, I think, what we've learned. One of the major things is that talk to people. Nobody's going to steal your idea. I mean, even if they do too bad, talk to people, try to get as much learning as you can, as much as you can. We underestimated timelines, like, oh shit. Things became inefficient in multiple things. We didn't know how things were working. The biggest problem due to this was, honestly, the games on mobile phones, they change, they evolve every few months. And if your development cycle is too long, and you've thought of an idea A, by the time it hits the market, maybe it's not the right time for that idea to be in the market. Maybe it's an old idea. Maybe there's somebody else who's already done that idea. There are so many things that go with it, and I think like 4 to 6 months, maybe 8 months, you should never go more than that, and we kind of did. So that was a big problem that we faced. From these issues, we also solved a lot of challenges that was pretty cool. For example, Beanbag became a hero rather than being a villain. When he farted, instead of the birds going to a new area on the screen, they would just fly away from the screen. So whenever you made Beanbag fart, it would be like a breather. We kind of worked on the balancing of the game. That really helped as well. Like I said, we added those new games as well, new worms as well. One way to improve the efficiency was the birds that were flying, like I said, that they were taking too many animation frames. So Fokwing is a magician, right? So we thought that, hey, instead of him flying from one place to the other, he could just teleport. So he could just drop stuff, like flight animations and stuff like that. So that really helped. The guys at Square Enix helped us a lot, actually, to polish stuff. Like, hey, why don't we show this like this? Button needs to have on-off states. All these small things, they helped us. People at Casual Connect gave us some really amazing feedback. And honestly, this game was like a learning experience for us, a sandbox of sorts. And we thought that, once we release it, just leave it at that. But their feedback and the general public feedback that they gave us that, hey, this is an awesome game, you should really work on it some more. And that's what we thought that, let's really do some more work on it. Quickly, I'll take you through this because I don't have much time. Like I said, it was a marketing sandbox. We released it at $1. I think it's still available at $1. I don't think anybody buys it now. We did a small PR release, a trailer. It's on YouTube. You can just look for yet another word game. We made it, so it's nothing really awesome. Like I said, no budgets. And we had a lot of downloads on the first day, like lots. And 90% of them were pirated, even though it's only on iOS. I think. And we had some integration of analytics, and everything said China. So it was China. Everybody was pirating it there. But they loved the game because the statistics told us that they're playing the game a lot. They still do, actually. It's released in May.
What did you use for analytics in that?
I think we used Flurry. I think I already spoke about these things. One of the biggest fails in the game was a tutorial system. It was a complete failure. We're going to change it now, actually. And the mobile industry, the landscape itself has changed now. So that was like another fail, like I said, about time that we took.
Can you just show me the previous slide once again? The one,
We are beyond time, so I'll email it to you, man. Yeah, I think I spoke about all these things like, ask people for help, and yeah, the biggest thing was we tried to make money initially. We said, you know what, let's not go for that. Let's try to acquire people, user acquisition. We felt was more important because not earning any money anyway, people are pirating it in any case. So we said, you know what, let's make version 2. And yeah, there is a version 2 that's going to come out. It's not a new app altogether, it's a very major update, and we really kicked about it actually. It should be out. We thought we'll kind of announce it over here, that this major update is coming out, and kind of give out some promo codes over here, but unfortunately it's not ready yet. In a couple of weeks it should be. We've added in levels, there's an in-game store, there's progressions. We've added pockets of joy, as that's what people said, that was one thing they were not getting, was sense of progression, sense of that, wow, I did this kind of thing. So we've added all these things. We don't have worms anymore, we have candies. It's got nothing to do with Candy Crush. It's just look nicer. Some powers, better tutorials. It's no longer tab, it's swipe, you could choose actually. And there's a lot more. And of course, we are working with Retina graphics now. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And sorry I had to rush through the last bit of it. You can mail me if you want, that's my email address. I can send you these slides if you want. It's totally cool with that. And yeah, I don't think we have time for questions, but if we do we? No? Thank you.
Give